What's up, Vapers? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and it's that vlog time once again. That's right, this is episode 23 of my Let's Vape vlog series, where now that it's a bi-weekly series, it's going to be a lot easier for me to kind of compile all the latest vaping stories that are affecting our daily vaping lives. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that I kind of switched gears a little bit and made this a bi-weekly, just because it switches things up a little bit, keeps things a little bit more fresh, and it allows me to get a little bit more time in between episodes to get everything together and to also gather the stories that I want to talk about. So we have a lot to talk about today. We've got the intros and updates and what's been going on with me and stuff that's going on with the channel, which I do have a pretty sweet little gift for you guys we'll talk about in a second here. But I also will be doing what I've been vaping on. We've got some first impressions mixed in there as well. We've got a beer o'clock beer segment. Pretty stoked on that one. Some vape drama alert, more or less a social commentary on what's been going on in the vapor industry. Almost what's been grinding my gears, I guess. But then we'll get into some rapid fire advocacy right at the end there. But lots and lots of advocacy to talk about. Oh, so much news. So yeah, we're just going to have to chug through this one. But until then, grab your favorite chair, grab your favorite vape, sit back, relax, and let's vape. All right, guys, so let's get right into it and start it off with some awesome news. I am very proud to announce that we have Fresh Build Friday Daily Vape TV mats now available on vapemats.com. I could not be happier with the way they came out. I'll just put up a picture right here for you guys, so just to tease you guys a little bit. But if you want them, they are currently available on vapemats.com. They come in the full-size mats, the little mini mats, as well as the microfiber towels as well. So make sure you get your hands on some of that stuff. Could not be happier. Like I said, with the design, Michael Bodine of Vape Mats just is an amazing person. He's a great guy, and he does some awesome work as well. So if you need vape mats for yourself, make sure you get in contact with them. But with that, I also have a coupon code available for you guys out there, just for you special people. It's Daily Vape TV. Then that's going to get you 15% off anything on vapemats.com. So even if you don't even want my mats, you can get whatever he offers, as well as there's a few other brands that are available on his website. So make sure you check that out if you guys have been thinking about getting a mat for a while now. There's no more excuses not to get yourself a mat. You got 15% off, and that's good for the entire site. So make sure you grab a couple of mats. They are awesome. I gotta say, I use them daily. I have them at the shop. I have them on my desk here. I have them at home, and I use them constantly. Just even as a filling station for your tanks, sometimes if you over drip or something like that, I usually just wipe up the side and wipe it on the mat, and boom, it just, is great for building on and everything else. So make sure you pick up a mat today. I will be doing a giveaway for 5, count them, 5 mats, 5 brand new Fresh Build Friday mats I will be giving away right here on this video. So all you have to do to get entered for that is hit that like button. Be subscribed to my channel, send me an email with the title being, whatever, just something vape related, vape mat giveaway or something like that. Just something so I know to put it in the right folder. And finally, comment down below with the word done, or, something like that, so I know you followed all those steps, and you're good to go. That means you are entered to win one of 5 Fresh Build Friday vape mats. It's that easy. Couldn't be any more easy. So yeah, we're going to give away 5 mats, and I just want to thank, once again, Mike from Vape Mats. Just stellar job. Awesome. Thank you so much. And I really do appreciate everything that he's done for me. So next up, we've got my first impression of Mr. Salty E-Liquid. Now, this is the stuff right here, Mr. Salty E-Liquid. It's another salt-based e-liquid line, and this stuff comes in 25 and 45 milligram strengths. It says right here on the package, not intended for use with sub-ohm devices, and I will absolutely 100% agree with that, because this is strong stuff. You definitely don't want to mess around when it comes to this stuff here. You can use it in your eye cares, if you got an eye care. If you have an AIO with a 1 ohm plus coil, then you can use that. Or if you build your own coils 1 ohm plus, then by all means give this stuff a shot. But I would absolutely not recommend it for sub-ohm devices. I got a little bit on my finger the other day while I was filling up a little system, and I felt like it was back in the day when I would be dripping on my bridgeless atomizers, and I would get juice on my finger or something like that, and it would burn a little bit. So just be careful if you do plan on getting some of this stuff for yourself. It is pretty high test stuff. Anyways, let's get on to the, first impression part. I've got a few different flavors here to try. I've got the fruit and menthol, I've got the strawberry watermelon taffy, and I've got this RY4. And there is a few other flavors available. There's like a blood orange lemonade, and there's a vanilla custard as well. But I felt like this was kind of a good starting point for me. If you guys want to see me do a full review on this stuff, just let me know. I'll see what I can do for that. But this is just going to be my little first impressions here. So first and foremost, we have the fruit and menthol. I've got it in this pod here. I just had a few empty pods laying around, so I figured why not give this stuff a shot, because it's getting a little bit difficult to find those cool mint pods around my area. So with that, let's go ahead and give this one a try. Honestly, I gotta tell you, I am pleasantly surprised by this. It's a good flavor, really good flavor. It reminds me of normal e-liquid, but the throat hit and the nicotine strength I get out of it is very similar to the actual Juul pods themselves. Now, this stuff is only the 25 milligram. Like I said, it's available also in 45, which is a nice thing because then it gives you that one little step down. So for me, the 25 milligram throat hit is actually on point. I really like it. It's nice and smooth. 45 is a little bit strong for me. I tend to kind of have to struggle through, I guess, the Juul strength. I really wish they would make a step down for the Juul as well, but since they don't, I actually ended up refilling a few of my pods here, and some of my other systems, I'll probably end up trying this stuff out in my MyJet and things like that. So yeah, the flavor is on point. Really, really good flavor. This being the fruit and menthol one. I'm not sure what fruit exactly it is. It's just kind of that generic fruity flavor, which is kind of hard to describe. One more puff here. Yeah, it's really, really hard to put my finger on exactly what flavor this is supposed to be. It's nice. It is. Whatever it is, it's nice. I haven't looked up the descriptions or anything like that online. I really haven't looked into this stuff too much, although I do know that it's salt-based nicotine and, they have 2 strengths available. That's pretty much all I know about this stuff right now. But the flavors, like I said, on point there. All right, so next up we have the strawberry watermelon taffy, and let's go ahead and give this one a shot. So yeah, once again, very smooth. The flavor is on point. And what I really like about this juice here is that not only can you use it in whatever you want as far as, 1+ ohm devices, but it just kind of brings that little bit of variety to the table. So if you're like me and you like to stealth vape from time to time, then this stuff is going to be crucial for you, because not all the time you get a good solid smoke break where you can go outside and, vape on your 3 milligram. And, sometimes it's a little bit obtrusive as well. Personally, I don't like vaping like I vape when I'm working at the vape shop out in public. So something like this definitely comes in handy. And the final flavor we're going to be trying out right now is the RY4. And this is kind of one of those traditional flavors in vaping. If you've been vaping for longer than, 4 or 5 years, you're going to know a good RY4. You're probably going to have your preferred brand of RY4. This one is good. It's a very good RY4. It's kind of got that little bit of, sweetness to it with the caramel and the vanilla. And then you have that base note of tobacco. The base note of tobacco is not very prevalent in this one. It's more of the sweet stuff, but it is pretty good. And I think it's more in tune with kind of the modern style of vaping, I suppose, if you guys know what I mean by that. But it's definitely on the sweeter side. But let's go ahead and have a vape. So once again, very smooth, very kind of traditional. It almost is like that nice little throwback to what you started vaping on. A lot of people, I remember, a lot of people back when I first started loved the RY4 tobaccos. And this is definitely one of those flavors that just brings me right back to the time when I first started vaping. And the flavor selection was a little bit more limited back then, but definitely good flavor. Really appreciate this one. So again, if you guys want to see me do a full review of Mr. Salty e-liquid, just drop a comment in the box below and I'll be sure to make that happen for you guys. But until then, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. All right, guys, so it's time once again to talk about what I've been vaping on, and it's been kind of a mixed bag the past couple of weeks since my last vlog video. Been kind of switching it up, trying a lot of different stuff that I don't normally vape, which is definitely a nice, refreshing way to kind of just change the pace a little bit, and that's kind of what I'm all about. I like trying new things and experimenting with different flavors. I've been kind of a little bit kind of pushing the boundaries of what I normally would vape. And yeah, it's just been kind of a wild ride the past couple of weeks. But getting right into it, my first setup is the recoil on top of the RX200 S, if you want to, get into detail about it. But yeah, the recoil is kind of a good, nice little standard RDA that I like to just throw a build in it from time to time and vape on it. It's one of those really simple devices that you don't have to think too much about, and it works. That's the best part about this device, is just straight up it works. It doesn't leak ever. Never had a leaking issue with this one whatsoever. I've got this sweet little color changing drip tip here from Jess Marie, Double Helix Designs, and I really want another one of these things. I think she's got a purple to pink color changing one that I would really like to get my hands on, but yeah, I just like to, accessorize a little bit. This green just doesn't quite go with the whole theme I've got going on, but that has no effect on the flavor or vapor or anything like that. So I guess it's just me kind of wanting something that is nice and matchy-matchy. But with that, in the recoil, I've got 5-wrap, 26 and 36 gauge stainless steel fused Clapton coils. These are space coils. These are pretty low resistance. It's 0.14. I'm vaping at 90 watts. I could easily vape it a little bit higher, but I feel like with the reduced chamber in here, this is a pretty small chamber inside the recoil, it gets a little bit warm for me. So I like to have a slightly cooler vape, just drop the wattage by about 10 to 20 watts off what I normally would vape on this setup here. But what I'm vaping on, the flavor I'm vaping on, is gummy. I got this the other day in my Craft Vapory box. This is raspberry. I have not been able to put this stuff down since I got it. It is a solid blue raspberry flavor. It's really gentle on coils, which is one reason why I really like it. And it's just a good, solid blue raspberry flavor. It's kind of a generic candy-ish, sweet blue raspberry flavor, but it's just good. What more can I say? It's just a good flavor, and that's why I really like it. So let's go ahead and have a vape off of this one. Oh yeah, that is good stuff, let me tell you. Moving on to my next setup, I've got this Council of Vapor Tempest 200 watt with a really throwback TFV4. I don't normally use Smoke Tech products, or smoke products, or as some people call it, smock products, but I don't know. I felt like just digging this thing out the other day. I was feeling really extra lazy and I didn't want to build anything, so I just threw a new coil in the TFV4. These are actually the notch coils from Coil Art. I still have a few left of these Coil Art notch coils, and they work really, really well. I'm pleasantly surprised by these. They're only rated up to 50 watts, but I'm actually currently vaping it at 60 right now, and I'm not getting any burnt hits. Then again, I do let it sit, quite some time in between hits just to re-wick itself. So I guess with that, it's a little bit of a trade-off, but at the same time, you can't go wrong for the convenience factor of just being able to pop a coil in, fill the tank, and just not worry about it. On top of here, I've got a nice little Half Moon Mods purple drip tip that I've been using, and it's nice and comfortable, which is why I like the Half Moon tips. And the flavor that I've got inside here, this is kind of what I was talking about. This is churro. What is it? Pepe's Churros. This is a Fruity Pebbles churro. Something I never would have normally vaped, ever. This is another one from Streamline Vapor, and Lucy sent me these bottles, so thank you, Lucy. Really do appreciate it. They also have a few more flavors. They sent me Pepe's Churros, Classic Ice Cream, and Strawberry Shortcake. So if you're a fan of any one of those flavors, then make sure you check those out. But the cereal covered or Fruity Pebbles churro is different. I like it a lot, and it's not like some of the other cannoli flavors you see, like Fruity Pebbles cannolis or just straight up cereal flavors. It's got a little bit of that pastry-ish, cinnamony kind of flavor to it. And then you also get the Fruity Pebbles out of it, which is just not in my comfort zone. I normally vape just straight up fruity flavors and stuff like that. This one just kind of, I just wanted to try it out. I had to try it out for myself, and I'm kind of glad I did, because it is really a really good flavor. So let's go ahead and have a vape off of this one. And the final device I have to talk about today is the Karma RDTA. Now, this normally goes on my RX200S, but I've just popped it on here just because it was in my hand already. And I've been trying this one out for the past couple weeks for review. I actually am going to be doing a review of this in the very near future, so stay tuned for that. It will be up this week sometime. But it's been a kind of a bumpy road, I guess. It's been different. This is another one of those combo RDTAs, so you can switch it from being a tank or an RDTA to an RDA. I like the way you switch from one to the other. It does have a filling hole, which is definitely a plus over the coil art version, which they have their combo RDTA. However, I still get a little bit of leaking out of it. Most of the time, I do fill it with a little unicorn bottle. And when I go to fill it, I'll tilt it, just kind of automatically. I'll automatically tilt it. And when I fill it, it comes up and out the wicking holes on the opposite side. So it's been a little bit of a pain. I guess it's sort of user error, but at the same time, I feel like it's a slightly flawed design. But I will give them the fact that they actually put a fill hole on here. So what I've been filling it with is this stuff right here. This is Bam Bam's cannoli. This is Captain Cannoli. This is a Captain Crunch cannoli. Try saying that 10 times fast. Again, kind of pushing me out of my comfort zone. Never thought I would try something like that, but it is a really good flavor. It's sweet. It's definitely on the sweeter side. And it doesn't ruin cotton, which is definitely a good thing for me. It still is in pretty decent shape after 2 weeks of using the same cotton on here, so I'll give it that much credit. The cotton will last quite some time. But with that, it's a very sweet flavor, very reminiscent of your traditional standard Captain Crunch. I don't think it has any crunch berries flavor. It's just straight up the cereal part of it. But other than that, you do kind of get that like slightly cannoli pastry exhale, which is definitely a nice touch as well. So yeah, just been rocking this one, about 80 watts. I've got a spaced coil build. I think it's a 9-wrap spaced 20, I want to say 23 gauge Nichrome 90 from Mad Rabbit. So yeah, just wanted to switch it up a little bit, so I went with a space build on this one. 0.24 ohms at 80 watts. So let's give this one a try. So yeah, you get that really dense, rich kind of cereal flavor, and then that slight cream kind of exhale, which is very much enjoyable. I've definitely been digging this stuff the last couple weeks. They also have a few other flavors. They have a Fruity Pebbles cannoli, and they also have an Oreo cannoli as well, I think. Those two I haven't really gotten into yet, but I will be trying those out pretty much when this bottle's done, I feel like. They do give you 3 bottles in the box, which is kind of nice. 3 30 ml unicorn bottles, which makes it that much easier to fill this Karma RDTA. But we'll get into that in the full review. That is what I've been vaping on for the past couple of weeks. Well, would you look at the time? It's already beer o'clock. And today we've got this Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA to enjoy. I've been holding on to this one for a few months now, and it's one of those ones that just comes out a couple of times a year, and I was able to snag a couple of these, so I figured what better way to enjoy it is with you guys out there. So this is an Imperial IPA from Dogfish Head Brewery out of Delaware. The alcohol by volume, or ABV, is around 15 to 20%. I'm going to guesstimate probably about 18% right now. And the IBUs are 120. IBU is International Bittering Units. That's basically how hoppy the beer is. And it's pretty up there. This is like the granddaddy of all IPAs as far as I'm concerned. I mean, my go-to IPA is the 90-minute by Dogfish Head, and that's just, you know, the one I always reach for. But this one here, it's very kind of rare. I would say it's pretty rare. And yeah, you only get to find them once or twice a year. So I figured, hey, let's crack it open and enjoy. So let's go ahead and do that. Got the bottle opener here. Oop, oop. And I've got my glass. Nice slow pour. Not too much head on this one. It's kind of an off-white, very, very bubbly head. The color itself is kind of a dark orange, deep orange, a little hazy. You can't really see too much light. Well, you can see light through it, but it's definitely blocking out quite a bit. It's a very hazy beer. Oh, wow. It's citrusy, floral hops, very, very kind of sweet smelling. Yeah, really good nose on this one. It's just, when it opens up a little bit more, when you get those bubbles going, just very, very kind of florally and orange zesty kind of scent to it. Really, really good. Wow. Man, I can't wait for it, so I have to just take a sip. Yeah, you can really feel the bite to this one. It's kind of warming going down, and in no way is that a bad thing, in my opinion. Woo! But yeah, the citrus notes are very present in this one. It's very bitter, and it's really enjoyable. It's definitely enjoyable if you like something with a lot of kick to it. If you can't handle alcohol, like if you don't like, straight up alcohol, this one's not going to be for you. So let's go ahead and have another sip of this one. So the mouthfeel on this one is almost a little bit dry. It's got that like oranginess to it, that little zest kind of flavor. But overall, it just kind of almost dries out your mouth a little bit. I kind of equate that to the alcohol percentage. But with that, it's kind of bubbly. It's light in certain senses, but at the same time, it's got a hell of a kick going down. Excuse me. Overall, I would say this is probably one of my favorite beers. When I can get my hands on it, it is out of this world. And right now, I don't even want to talk about it. I just want to enjoy it. So let's pair this one up. And I think what I've got right here is going to go really nicely. This is Hearst Castle by Cali Vapors. It's got melon and cream. So I feel like those flavors will just kind of play off of each other there. So let's go ahead and try this one out. Well, I'm going to say not the greatest pairing in the world. The sweetness of it does kind of brighten up the beer a little bit more. But I really just wish I had something that played a little bit more nicely with the more floral and piney notes to the beer. I'm going to have to search around. I really am at a loss right now of what I can actually pair this stuff with. But it's not bad overall. I just feel like the melon part of it just kind of throws a wrench into the mix here. So let's try it again. Let's do it one more try here. It's not bad, but there's just no way to really overcome that alcohol bite to this one. This one's going to be pretty tricky to pair with. If you guys have any suggestions out there, I'd love to hear them because, like I said, right now I am pretty much at a loss. I don't think any dessert will go with it. I want to try to find something that's going to kind of counteract that bitterness of it and just kind of play along nicely with the alcohol bite. So let me know if you guys have any suggestions. Just drop a comment down there below. But yeah, I'm just going to finish this one off real quick and we'll move on to our next topic. Vape drama alert. That's right. We've got some juicy vape drama for you guys this weekend. This time it's not really directed at any specific company or what any specific person said. This is kind of a general blanket kind of statement and what really grinds my vaping gears. And what I mean by that is we're going to be talking about IP theft or intellectual property theft and child-friendly packaging. So that's two things that get brought up from time to time in this industry. You'll see kind of a trend. After, a few months, it'll die down. Then all of a sudden, it'll be brought up again and people get all riled up about it. And then it'll start to die off again when nothing is going on with the industry. But with that, I've been seeing a lot of bad things lately, and I just have to speak my mind about this stuff because it has to stop. These are two things that really just have to stop with this industry. So first, we're going to talk about IP theft or intellectual property theft. Now, what that means, it's basically stealing the design or the packaging or logos from a product that already exists outside of the vaping world. This happens all the time with candy and cereal flavored e-liquids. Now, that's just something that people have not gotten around. A lot of these companies out there that are coming out with these flavors that may sound amazing. Obviously, they're going to appeal to a certain demographic of vapors, and they call it nostalgia. They want to play on the nostalgia factor for vapors, kind of giving them a feeling like they're going back to their childhood and eating, drinking, whatever, stuff that they used to enjoy as a child. So I can understand the necessity for wanting to regain that feeling when you're vaping on something. That makes total sense to me. The one thing that doesn't make sense to me is the fact that people are out there just completely ripping off these companies that spend thousands, of dollars coming up with their own marketing strategy and their color scheme and their logos and their fonts and everything else. And here we have people in this industry just completely ripping them off, colors and all. And as a graphic designer myself, I know for a fact that it doesn't take a genius to come up with something that's basically just ripping off a company that already exists. I mean, Swedish Fish, it takes 2 seconds to come up with, the color sampling. You could just literally use the eyedropper tool in Photoshop, and there you go. You have your color scheme for your new flavored e-liquid, or gummy worms, or gummy bears, or airheads, or any particular cereal flavor out there. There's a million Fruity Pebbles. There's a million Trix flavors. There's a million Captain Crunch flavors. And I just see this all too often. And it's just one of those things that really needs to be talked about more. And I feel like the main problem with this stuff is it sells. That is the worst thing about it, is that the fact that it sells. So basically they put their, new product out there on the market, and vape shops eat it up. And that is something that needs to stop. Vape shops need to stop supporting these people that are literally ripping off other companies. And all it takes from an outside company to put a stop to this is a cease and desist. They would have to force them to change their packaging. And 9 times out of 10, they do it a little bit. They tweak it so that it doesn't directly rip off their product. But at the same time, it's not a lot. It's not a total rethink of the marketing strategies here. But vape shops, this is a message to vape shops out there. Stop carrying e-liquids that directly rip off other people's designs. This is something that needs to be done, and over with in this industry. This is something that can kill our industry, because it's one of those things that people outside this industry, mainly lawmakers, worry about. And it's just that it may be appealing to, adults, of course, because adults eat candy and cereal and everything else, but it also appeals to children as well. And that's the main thing. Now, switching gears a little bit more towards the side of the child-friendly packaging, I went to Boston a couple years ago to fight for my rights as a vapor. There was a bill on the table, and they were having an open forum discussion. So, of course, I went out there to fight for my rights. And the first person that was able to speak, the first person that they called up there, took a huge bag of Sour Patch Kids and put it on the table. Now, they also gave out little goodie bags to all the representatives that were sitting there at the time. And in those bags, they had a bottle of Sour Patch e-liquid. Now, this is the type of thing that I was talking about, the appealing to children side of things. Now, the marketing people over at these e-liquid companies are going to say, well, it's for the nostalgia factor. Okay, that's fine. But you can play on the nostalgia factor just by, having the e-liquid be a flavored e-liquid. I mean, it doesn't have to look like any specific brand, or it doesn't have to be super child-friendly. And it's one of those things where you got to separate the two. Obviously, there is a way to sell your e-liquid without resorting to those sort of tactics. And again, the main problem I have with this stuff, with these child-friendly e-liquids, are they sell. That's the worst thing about it, is that vape shops look at it as a chance for potential profit, which is fine. Everyone's got to make a buck. But at the same time, you should be doing it responsibly, and you have to think every time you go to click a button or call someone up to buy e-liquid, is this good for the industry? And even that kind of falls upon the consumers as well. Everyone out there that buys e-liquid online has a personal responsibility to think about the future of vaping and whether or not it's actually going to be good for you to show off your brand new, bottle of child-friendly, IP-thieving packaged e-liquid. So do me a favor, everyone out there watching right now, if you're listening to my voice, do me a favor, and next time you buy e-liquid, just take 1 second and think, is this going to look good for our industry? So there you go. There's my little spiel. I hope it wasn't too, doom and gloom for you guys. But seriously, this is a topic that needs to be constantly brought up. And people, especially marketing teams and, the graphic designers when it comes to these e-liquid companies, just need a little bit of a nudge to remind them that they shouldn't be coming out with these sort of designs. So there you go. There's my spiel on IP theft and child-friendly packaging. Let's go ahead and move on to some advocacy. Rapid fire advocacy. All right, guys. So today we're going to be talking about a few different topics here, starting off with what the hell happened in Utah, mainly House Bill 370. And this more or less has to do with what the now former co-president of Utah SFATA, Shiloh Platts, said during his testimony. So let's just go ahead and have a listen to that.
My name is Shiloh Platts. I am the Utah chapter co-president of the Smoke-Free Alternatives Trade Association, and we would like to speak on behalf of HB 370 in support of the bill. We represent many different vapor businesses across the state and have a federal chapter out of Washington, D.C. Our position, and we find ourselves in alignment with the county health departments as well as the physicians groups, is that there should be fair and responsible regulation of these products. The FDA has deemed vapor products as tobacco products, and thus the definition of smoking should also include vaping in order to be consistent with the new federal law. This bill would not stifle the growth or expansion of small businesses within the vapor industry, and like any other adult-oriented business, we feel it's crucial that the vapor industry be regulated in a manner that is consistent with the values of Utah voters. And so we would like to offer our support as a trade organization in the vapor industry for HB 370. And that's all I've got.
All right. So let's just break it down real quick. So first of all, he's supporting the bill. Now, the bill is basically anti-vaping. It's going to make it much more difficult to zone where vape shops can actually go. So apparently they're going to have to come up with an independent outside company to reevaluate the zoning for where vape shops actually are active in their communities. So I have a feeling that might affect certain vape shops out there. They might not be able to do business in their current locations. They're either going to have to move or they're just going to go out of business. So that is definitely going to harm the vapor industry in Utah. But not only that, I believe that they're also changing the definition to more align themselves with what's going on with the FDA regulations. So changing the definition of vaping to that of smoking. So that is definitely going to hurt. And I feel like this was kind of a misspeaking on their part. I'm not sure if they consulted with National SFATA, which actually I'm sure they didn't consult, because SFATA National actually later came out and basically discredited this statement altogether. And I think it was just kind of a miscommunication or something like that. But my whole thinking on this whole situation is, don't they have meetings? Don't they prepare for these sort of things? And, wouldn't they talk to other people about whether or not they're supporting or going against this bill? I just can't understand where they're coming from with this sort of situation here. So definitely not a good look on his part. He has since been let go from his position at SFATA. So I guess there's that. But at the same time, they will use this testimony against us for many years to come, to the best of my imagination. But yeah, definitely a shit show going on down in Utah. Moving on to our next topic here, we have the New Jersey flavor ban. Now, it just passed its second stage through their health board, I believe, and this is Bill S-298. There's a really good article right here, which I will, of course link in the description below. But yeah, they voted 7-2 in front of their health committee today. And yeah, it's basically trying to ban flavored electronic smoking devices, which includes vapor products and refills. So that is not a very good thing going down in Jersey right now. If you are a New Jersey vapor, make sure you stand up and fight for your rights to vape. There's contact information. I'll be sure to get that in the description below. If you guys want to contact your local representatives, make sure you get out there and do that right now, because they're trying to ban flavors in New Jersey. There's a lot of, there's a lot of testimony in vaping's favor. There's a lot of anti-vaping testimony as well. There's also another bill being discussed here, which is A3704, which would expand that law to also bar electronic smoking devices, cartridges, liquid refills with flavors other than the 3 allowed. So the first measure becomes a fine. I believe it's a fine of $250 for the initial infraction, which, may not seem like much, but this is something that can potentially, get their people's licenses removed as far as vape shop owners and things like that. So nothing good coming out of Jersey right now. This is really, really bad news for the vapor industry. Make sure you get out there, tell your story, oppose these bills as hard as you possibly can, because it's basically one step away from becoming law. And if it does become law, that's pretty much it for the vapor industry in New Jersey, which is already suffering enough as it stands right now. So just make sure and do your part. That's really all I can say at this point. I mean, you guys know the drill by now. I feel like we've been dealing with this sort of situation for years already, and basically all the antis have to say is that it appeals to children. And this is another one of those sort of things that you just have to get out there and defend for yourself, because a lot of other states could take this and use that in their own state. A lot of states might follow their kind of pattern with this one here. So just get out there and fight. That's all I can really say. Call your representatives, write them letters, write them emails. Doing nothing does nothing for your industry in Jersey. So just get out there and do your part. Next up, we're going to talk about HR1136. This is the big one. This is actually some positive news in the world of vaping. This is the new bill that's going to be introduced by Representative Tom Cole. He's the Republican from Oklahoma, and Representative Sanford Bishop, a Democrat from Georgia. This is a bipartisan bill that's basically what the Cole Bishop amendment was trying to do, with further language clarification and things like that. So this is its own separate bill this time. It's not just an amendment to the current bill. This is its own separate one, which does have some legs, and I'm really happy about that, because it's about time we get some positive news going on right now in our industry. So it's still in its first initial stages. Obviously, it hasn't gone in front of any committees or anything like that. It hasn't been voted on, but it will be going in front of, I believe, the Energy and Commerce Committee. So it's still in its very, very kind of new stages here, but it is a bit of positive news. Whenever you get a bipartisan supported bill, that is a big thing, because it just kind of bridges that gap. And we really need more of this sort of thing with our industry here, because just having one side or the other doesn't really do much for us overall, but having both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats, backing us is definitely a big thing. So make sure you tell them, that you are definitely 110% behind them. Get out there, write your emails, write your letters, write them to your own representatives of your own state, because this is something that you can just kind of introduce them to if they're not familiar with it. But yeah, just show your support for HR 1136, because this could be industry saving. It's going to be able to move the predicate date up from 2007, which basically no vapor products were on the market at that time, all the way up to August 8th, 2016. So this could be one of those industry saving bills, because at the very least, you'll be able to get your hands on products that you were able to all the way up until last year. Still, it doesn't change any language for the future of the vapor industry, but if we can get this bill passed here, that would be major precedent for future legislation on the side of vaping. So yeah, with that about does it for what we have to talk about today as far as advocacy news news goes. Of course, I will keep you guys updated on all these stories. And once again, just get out there and fight for your vaping rights, because this stuff is important. It's absolutely crucial that every single one of you watching this right now stands up for their vaping rights. So I would like to thank a few people before I sign off here. First of all, Vape Mats. Big thanks to Mike Bodine from Vape Mats. He's just an awesome dude. Make sure you check out my new Fresh Build Friday mats, of course. Enter my contest. I will be giving away 5, count them, 5 vape mats with the new Fresh Build Friday design, which is really cool. So big shout out and thank you to Vape Mats. Native Wicks, I use them in all my Fresh Build Friday videos. They give me cotton. I thank them for that. Awesome. Of course, links down there in the description. Craft Vapery, they are a constant supporter of me, so thank you so much, Craft Vapery, for everything that you've done for me. And finally, the Vape Finder app. Vape Finder is an awesome little app that they have over in the UK, where they help you out finding deals, discounts, and vape shops all over the UK, which is great. They're also expanding. I believe they do have a few in the States as well. And they're just awesome. They're awesome people. They always give me a lot of love and put my videos up on their app and on their site. So thank you so much, Vape Finder. Really do appreciate everything you do for me. And to all my UK viewers out there, make sure you download that app. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Of course, leave me comments in the box below. I'm sure the discussion is going to be out of control with this one here, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, check out the advocacy and social media links I've got in the description below. Make sure you fight for your right to vape. And that about does it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, vape on.